What's up guys, Hobo88 here and welcome back to iRacing and welcome to Port Royal. That's right, it is a cool time to be a iRacing dirt fan and that's because it is build week. Week 13 here on the service and that means new content, and for us here that love dirt racing it is time to add the Speed Palace. Port Royal Speedway to the collection of tracks that we can run, and I'm going to go through, as I always do when a dirt track is released, go through and cut a few laps in all of the cars, the dirt cars on the service, go through, rip a few laps, have a bit of a chat about the track, a look at what it's like in all the different cars, look at some of the different times of day and track states and things like that, and see how it all works out, see how it looks, and just preview basically new track with all of the cars on the service. If you want to skip through to a specific car, you can do that down in the description below. I'll timestamp all the different cars so you can just skip around to whatever it is you want to see. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy here as we work our way through the full catalogue of all of the cars here on the sim and go through them one by one, starting here right now with the Dirt Legend. Here we go. Alright guys, so let's kick things off like we usually do by having a little look around in the pit area. Obviously, infield pit for this track. I don't know if we can drive off here. We'll probably fall off the edge. Let's see what happens. No, we can go off here. Yeah, we'll just see whether or not we can get around the different areas here on the infield. But obviously, infield pit for this particular track. We know that some tracks have the infield pit area, others the outer pit area. But I doubt very much that we'll be able to get out into the outfield. This looks like the pit entry actually here on the middle of the back stretch. Cones up here. So infield inside wall all the way around the track here. But it all looks like an area that we can get around into. Got the scales. That's a bit of a glitch there. You can see through the world. Look at that. You guys can see that, but otherwise this all looks like an infield pit area that we can get around. It's fenced along this side, so there's not a lot of stuff to really look at here on the infield. Can go behind the wall there, but there's nothing down there to see. That's pretty much it really, and then we've got the long run down here where you would normally have haulers and things, I guess, parked in real life. So there is a lot of area there around the inside of the track that you can get onto, but there's not a lot to really look at, which is not surprising. Victory lane. Checkered flag sponsor. Okay, that's pretty cool. This is like the little push-off area, I guess, for sprint cars. So let's go head out on track and take a look around. Legend. The Dirt Legend is what we're starting with. Obviously being a half-mile track, this is going to be a pretty big track for these cars. It does feel very, very wide, is my first impression. 0% track state. And we're in the morning. I'm just running the baseline setup. The banking's interesting. It's fairly flat. And then it's got like a progressive banking that... Whoa. That was almost a big crash right there. As I was saying, the progressive bank, it feels almost flat around the bottom, but then it's got this progressive banking that really ramps up towards the wall especially, so... I don't know what the actual degree of banking it is. As you get right out towards the fence out here, on the far outside, you can see that it does have like a big curb on it. But because the track is quite wide, I can see how in some cars, particularly some cars, you'll be able to get multi-groove racing, I imagine. There's a much shorter trip around the bottom. Because the way the banking is, I don't know that the middle groove here, like say through here, will be that good as the track starts to slicken off. So you're probably going to end up with a bottom and a far top. But maybe I'm wrong. Right up against the wall there. Even at 0% track state, there's really not a lot of room on this far outside to work with. Often, what you tend to see is that the high line might start at 3/4 track and the cushion will work its way out towards the fence, but I think you're going to be right on the wall straight away in some cars. That's just going to be the fastest way. Guess we'll see as we check out a few of the different cars here. The little legend actually doesn't feel too bad around here. I usually end up saying this in these videos, but I think that the legend would actually be pretty good fun to race around here, but I mean, you just never race them. They're not cars that get used hardly ever, or that I ever see anyway. I don't remember the last time I raced a Dirt Legend race. Anyway, I reckon that will probably just about do it. Across the start-finish line here. Find the pit entry on the backstretch and go through there, and then check out a quick replay, a couple of laps of this before we move on to the street stock next. Alright, you guys, time to check out the dirt street stock. I do really love this car, but I'm not fully convinced that this is going to be the track for it. Let's see. Loaded up the iRacing supplied setup for Port Royal for this car. We've moved to noon as well for the time of day. We're away from the morning. I don't really like running morning time of day on dirt ovals because, well, when do cars really ever hit the track in the morning on a dirt oval? Even noon is probably somewhat unrealistic a lot of the time, but anyway. And we've moved the track state to 20%, so starting to see a little bit of track wear now. Oh yeah, right up against the wall. Yeah, look at that. That feels fast. I don't know that the street stock is the sort of car that would have the power to be able to run around the bottom and be competitive with a car that's running around the top and carrying all the momentum. I'm not running any like deltas or anything in this video to be able to compare lap times to know, but it doesn't feel as fast around the bottom, and sometimes it's deceptive. But I don't know that the power of this car can compete with the momentum from running around up here. You can tell you're carrying so much more speed down the straight because it's hard into the limiter by the end of the straight. I like that. Just look at the tyre tracks, how close we're getting to that fence. I haven't hit it yet, and I'll probably hit it now that I've said that, but I'm trying to run as close to it as I can, and I'm able to just hold it flat, go right up there. It's just a lot of fun. Oh, that was good through there that time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about the bottom line. The problem is if you can't match your lap speed running around the bottom, I don't know what the racing would be like in these cars. Like if it's single groove straight away, and I worry about that on these sort of tracks that have got the progressive banking right up near the fence. Like, you can't run two grooves in some cars. It's going to be difficult to race them around here because there's no way to pass. I guess the only way would be to run off the top and just throw a huge slider to make a move. I don't know if you have the momentum to be able to clear one. But nonetheless, very fun car to drive around here, particularly when the track states at around about what it's at right now. The street stock can be hit and miss. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that, and I reckon I want to check these out in a race one time around here to see how they go. But anyway, that's it for the dirt street stock. Whoop. We'll come back next and we'll check out the UMP Modified, see how that goes around here. Okay, so now it's time to drive one of my favourite cars. I always enjoy doing laps, the UMP Modifieds. I always feel like I'm sitting like on the hood, I guess we'll call it. When I get in this car, I feel like I'm sitting so far forwards. I don't change my field of view for this car or anything like that. It's just feels, and the Midget's the other one. I feel like I'm sitting out the front. Anyway, I'll adjust to that. We'll get used to it. This is usually the car when I do these videos that I sit in and go, yes. It's usually the one that actually really kicks off these videos. It's the first car that really brings a smile to my face normally. We've moved into the afternoon now for the time of day. And we've got the track state up to now 40%. We're probably starting to get a bit of a slick line forming. Oh. Oh, wow. Almost drove straight into the inside wall. This is just, again, the iRacing provided fixed setup for this track, for Port Royal. That's all I'll be running throughout the whole video. It'll either be the iRacing setup for this track, if they provide one, or the baseline setup otherwise. But I'll let you guys know, if I remember, for each car as we go, what setup I'm using. The bottom actually feels pretty good in this car. And again, now that we've got something with a little bit of power, that we can actually drive, use a little bit of throttle modulation and stuff like that, the bottom feels a little more viable. Obviously the slick as well. The slicker we get towards the top, and the harder that high line becomes to run, the more the bottom feels like it's viable. I did check the lap times in the street stock, and I was significantly quicker running around the top than I was around the bottom in that car. Yeah, now I'm starting to get a feel for it. Yeah. Yes. Always takes me a minute to adjust to these faster cars. You gotta remember as well, being an Australian, it's like early hours of the morning for me when these builds drop with iRacing. Like 5 o'clock in the morning or something here at the minute. Not the normal time of day for me to be doing laps. Oh boy. I can see I'm already falling into a trap. I don't know how many laps I've done, if I've done more than I did in the other cars or not, but I just feel like I can keep doing lap after lap after lap. Because it's just fun. I lose track. And that's always a good sign. That's just great fun. That is really great fun. All right, I need to stop before we get carried away. All right, we'll do a change of pace for the next one. We'll come back. I'm not sure how these will go, but we're going to come back next. Check out the midgets around here at Port Royal. We'll see what that's like next. All right, midgets. You know that I haven't been doing many laps in iRacing dirt stuff when I go to load the setup for this track, and the setup that's still on the car is the I-55 Peevely set from last time. That's 2 cars in a row now that I've had that happen. I haven't driven any of these cars really since the last time I did it. Last time I did a preview video for the dirt stuff, which was when I-55 was released. So we certainly don't have a lot of seat time in these cars. I have done a couple of laps here before I realised I wasn't recording. So this is not my very first lap in the midget, but I've only done a couple of laps, so as you can see already, it's difficult. And all that you really missed was me saying how difficult it was. Normally I find the midget is a car that I can get into and just sort of drive pretty well straight away, but it's certainly taking me a minute to find my feet in it this time, and I don't know if that's because I haven't driven the car at all in the last, I don't know how long it's been since I-55 was released. What, 6 months maybe? So I don't know if it's just the lack of time in the car, or if it's this particular track, or maybe it's a setup. It is the iRacing fixed setup for Port Royal that I've got on the car. I'm starting to get a feel for it right now, so maybe you guys missed the first sort of 5 laps or so, and it was a handful. I seem to be managing it a little better now. It's probably just me taking a minute to figure it out. The high line is getting pretty treacherous though. Of course, the midgets don't really respond well to the bumps. Oh, we're dead. Oh, we are dead. Alright, well, we need to do a few more laps, so let's go back to the pits and we'll go out again. I feel like for the longest time I managed to do these videos without crashing and flipping any of the cars, and then the last couple I've managed to wreck, I think, in the Wingless Sprintcar. And maybe even might have flipped the midget in the last video at Peevely as well, so I think I'm getting worse, is what I'm trying to say. Sure, you guys will let me know all about it in the comments. But what I did want to do, and the reason why I wanted to come back out, is I just want to experiment a little more with like the low line. Obviously the high line's still good. You can see that the lower line is starting to wear on the corner entry particularly. There's a bit of a slick groove down low. But it looks like there might be a bit of a middle, so I kind of wanted to run around. I feel like that line there could be not bad. Like, it's a bit slick getting in, but if you can see that, we just lost it on the entry. But oh, there's the inside wall. If you can kind of get around between the two lines, I feel like there's a bit of grip in the middle at the minute. Obviously, it would depend on how the track wears as well. With real drivers instead of a generated track state like this. Probably wouldn't generate like this, but naturally with people driving on it. But oh wow, yeah, see, again, like I said, I'm really struggling to sort of get a feel for the midget. which I don't really feel like is normally an issue for me. I don't know whether or not this car's changed since I last drove it, or if I'm just not very good. Or if it's the track. I doubt it's that. I'd say it's probably just that I'm not very good. Oh! Oh, wow. So it just got so tight on the corner exit. That's what put me upside down on the backstretch. Just turned right into the fence. So again, it feels like running right around the top here is the way to go. And that just feels fun and fast. Yeah, that's fun. Oh, tight again though. Almost got the wall the same way on the back. Yeah, see, maybe you could do a bit of moving around. Midgets are the sort of car that are... Because they're so small and fairly agile and nimble, you can move around a bit. Like that feels like it could actually work, like diamonding off the exit of the corner. I'm really struggling to keep the thing straight going on corner entry when I enter low though. Anyway, I think the racing could be good in the midgets. I think that the midgets are the cars that put on good racing on most tracks, so I could see that being the case again here. What I'm worried about is the next car though, the Wingless Sprintcar. You guys know how much I struggle in that car, and we're going to come back here next and check that out and see how that goes. Alright, here we go. The non-wing sprint car always makes me nervous. You guys know the perils of driving this car. Although, ironically, like I talked about earlier, the lack of seat time. Oh, wow. The lack of seat time that I have on iRacing in the dirt stuff lately. I've probably done more laps in the wingless sprint cars than anything else over the last 6 months, so there's no excuse. I am in only the 360, not the 410, to give me some kind of chance. And again, we're just back on the iRacing supplied Port Royal set. Ironically though, I feel more comfortable in this straight away than I did in the midget. Go figure. We have moved up to 80% track state as well. Which probably doesn't help my cause any at all, because the slicker the track gets, I think the harder these cars are to drive, personally. And there's a few huge holes down there in 1 and 2. Of course, it's hard to talk about what kind of racing would you get from these cars in particular, because it's just difficult to find a group of people that can actually drive these cars, to be honest. Like, they're also extremely unpopular, I think, because of their difficulty. You don't see them get raced a lot, which is probably a shame, but I get it. I get that. They're not easy cars to drive. Although I'm finding it a lot easier than the Midget, to be honest. In fact, I'm actually having quite a lot of fun. Normally, I'm just straight up terrified the entire time that I'm in this car doing these videos, trying my hardest to not hit the damn wall and flip. I actually feel pretty comfortable. I've already had that experience in the Midget in this video. A pretty shallow entry into 1 and 2 there that time. That's always a little bit spooky. They don't stop. The cars just don't stop. If you get in there too hard, it's like a slow motion accident. It's waiting to hit the fence. Well, that's a little too high. Although we got away with it. Trying to be brave and go closer to the fence, and it's just not really there. It's so rough up on the top. There's almost a bottom line sort of forming right around the inside fence too. That's actually pretty good as well. Again, I don't know that a line like that would still be there if this was naturally progressed the track as opposed to pre-rendered. Like, well, that's not the right word, but you guys know what I mean. iRacing generated track state. All right, let's cut our losses before we flip and look like an idiot. That was good fun. I actually really enjoyed that, and that's probably the first time I can remember. It may be because of the laps that I've done in the car over the last 6 months or so, which isn't many, but more than anything else, that I felt more comfortable in this car at this track than I've ever felt in it on a track preview video before. So let's check out the replay, and when we come back, we're going to go and hit up the Big Block Modified next. I love it how all these cars, I go into the garage and it's just got the Peevely set up. Like, I really haven't done any dirt on iRacing at all lately. But here we go. One of my favourite cars, possibly my favourite dirt car on iRacing. The big block. It's now the late afternoon. You can see the sun's getting lower in the sky over there off turns 3 and 4. And the track state, 100%. This is as worn as the track gets. Or as worn as you can choose to make it with an iRacing generated track state. So I don't know why I like to run the big block, particularly with the track state at 100%, but I feel like so many big block races in real life, like the Super Dirt Car Series stuff that I've seen, they run on just slick black tracks. Like, it's almost like they're running on pavement sometimes, these guys. Dusty pavement. So it feels right to have them as the car that I run at 100% track state here in these preview videos. I do just love these cars though. They're just great to drive. They sound good. They drive good. I still think they feel like the most convincing car on the dirt side of the iRacing platform. Oh, that's a bit too sideways. Caught it though. Got a good run off the inside of turn 4. I meant it. We should have a look at the bottom. Again, it's just not... doesn't really feel like it's going to be that viable. I mean, I think above all else with this track, my main concern is probably the fact that I don't know that you're going to get good racing here, because I feel like it's just going to be a top dominant track. I mean, it's hard to know that without actually racing around here and really seeing what it's like. But that's just what my impression is like. I just don't think there's enough speed around the bottom. The way that the banking is progressive here, and it's just really steep right up near the fence, it takes away really any way to get 2-lane racing, in my opinion. But I mean, I could be wrong. Track is certainly wide enough, and you can make the same argument about a lot of the tracks on the service. They're just not really built for 2-groove racing. But I guess coming into this somewhat blind and not really knowing, my expectations were that because I felt like this would be a pretty wide track and a fairly big track, there might be potential to get multi-groove racing. I'm not convinced yet that it's going to be that possible. We'll see. It's certainly fun just to rip laps around though. I think what I like about it maybe the most so far is that it feels unique. Like, it doesn't feel like any of the other tracks on the service. Alright, well, with that, I think I'm ready to move on to the next car, which is one that's very polarizing. I wouldn't normally include, but you guys always insist that they need to be in there, and that's a NASCAR of some sort. So we'll grab the Camping World truck, and we'll come back and rip a couple of laps around here in that, see how that goes. They're always interesting, and yeah, see what that's like around here. We'll do that right now. All right, the NASCAR truck. Here we go. This was a little bit awkward because I had to find a setup to use for this, and basically my options are Knoxville or Eldora, I guess. So we've gone with Knoxville a bit, thinking really for the gear ratio. So we'll see. And we bumped the track state back. So it's at 60%, I think it was. I set it to now. Oh yeah, that's way too hard into there. So I kind of always have to include a NASCAR of some sort into these videos for you guys, because after I included it once, every time since then, if I haven't had it, be it usually the truck, you guys blow up about it in the comments. Oh, that was close. So I don't know, I find it weird, like this is not the sort of car, or in this case truck, that you would expect to see running at this track. But what do you think? What do you guys think? Especially those of you that are familiar with this track in real life. Like, could you imagine a NASCAR event running at Port Royal? Would you like to see a NASCAR event running at Port Royal? I'm all for it. I love seeing NASCAR on the dirt, but I know that's a polarizing opinion. There's a fair few people out there that are very against it. I will say this though, the truck in particular is so fun to drive on dirt. To smack the wall again. There you go. Yes. Yeah, that was good. Having trouble getting it down here into 3. Try and run a lower line. Obviously around the bottom though, we're going to need 3rd gear with this particular gear ratio. It's got tight there on the entry. I haven't driven a H pattern car in a while either, to be honest. Feels weird just shifting. I went to grab my sequential. Just out of habit. I think what I love about these in particular though is that you've really got to drive them. Like, it's driver stuff. It's using your feet. A little too high there. Whoa! I actually think these work really well here, the trucks. I'd like to do a truck race here sometime. I think that would be fun. But I think that's probably enough. You guys get the idea. But what I will do is keeping in tune with the trucks and keeping in tune with cars or vehicles that you would not really expect to run on a dirt track. The other thing I've been including in the last few videos that you guys seem to like is the Pro 2 truck. So we're going to grab that, rip a couple of laps in it, and see how it goes around here as well. Alright, so it is sunset now. I dragged the track, stayed back to 40% for this. We're on the baseline setup. Another vehicle that I don't think I've driven since the last track preview video that I did at I-55. Sure about the gear ratio here, it doesn't feel quite right, but does, yeah, it's sort of, we're going to be between gears I think, but that's alright. Just about kept the momentum up there in third that time around. That was pretty good. Keen to get your guys' thoughts about it, including these trucks in these videos. What do you think? Should they be in here? Should they not? They're clearly not a dirt oval car. Although I've talked about it in previous videos where I've included them, that I do remember seeing like championship off-road racing run on ovals, but with infield sections with jumps. I'd love to see some of those implemented to add some extra tracks for these to race on, but I don't know that they've ever run just on straight up ovals before like this. I actually think that there's something to be said for racing these on ovals, to be honest. They actually drive pretty well, as you can see right here. Let's see if we can get around the bottom a bit. That'll definitely require second gear though. They're just so fun to drive. That's what I love about these things, on any track really. Again, though, I'm not really convinced that around the bottom is going to be quicker than around the top. Again though, like I talked about earlier, there's some cars, or in this case again a truck, where you can just do laps and lose track because it's just fun to drive. This is another one of those. Look at the tire tracks. We're literally just running around scraping the tailgate, I guess, along the edge of the fence. It's a little too much. We were a little close to wall riding that time. Not quite, but nearly. Oh no, we smacked the wall off four. Alright, well I think that's probably enough of these. Interested to get you guys' thoughts about including them in these videos though. I like it because they're just fun to drive, but let me know what you think in the comments below. But we're going to move on next. We're actually going to bust out the super late model. Time to get serious, guys. Get into the business end of this video and it's time for the big guns. Super late's up next. So once again, we had the Peevely set up on, so I haven't driven these cars either since we last did the I-55 video, but that's okay. I love the super late models. They are a car that requires a little bit of getting used to though. They drive pretty differently to anything else. Let's see how we go here, if we can get up to speed straight away or not. Again, we just changed it to the new iRacing fixed set. I left the track state at 40%, or I think that's where it was, so hopefully we can sort of drive it a lot. We're not dealing with too much slick. I'll probably leave it around about the same again for the sprint car, which we'll be doing next. Oh, that's very sideways and very in the wall. Let's not do that. You're like, oh, there's a big lag right there. I don't know if you guys got that or not. And now we're starting to feel it. And the other thing, of course, I didn't mention, but is pretty obvious. We're now at night time. Get a little look at the track in the dark. Ooh. Now we're ripping. Oh! Let's have a look down here. Yeah, see, this car digs pretty hard on the bottom. For the first time, the bottom actually feels pretty good. Right there. Bogged down a little bit there on the exit of 4. It is hard to say. Until you actually start racing here, it's hard to say what the racing will be like. I do fear that we're going to see a pretty top dominant track in most cars, but could be proven wrong as we smack the wall all the way down the front straight. Wow, didn't that bog down there? Ooh, haha. You gotta work it. I haven't done anywhere near enough late model racing lately. I do love these cars. Oh, there's a wall again. When you get it really singing, it's fun. Oh, oh, whoa! Even get it rolling through the middle, not too bad there. Oh, we smacked it with it. Smacked the wall down coming off a 4. That's going to do us, I think. Go park it up and we'll come back next. The granddaddy, a 410 sprint car, Winged Sprintcar, wrap things up here, and that'll be the last car that we look at. I'm looking forward to it. That's the car that I've been most looking forward to doing laps in, so let's see what it's like right after this. Alright guys, this is what I've been looking forward to. 410 Winged Sprintcar Port Royal. I've dragged the track state all the way back to 20%. So hopefully we can just get out here and rip. Here we go. Oh, oh my goodness. I need to adjust my reflexes. I'm not ready for going this quick. Oh, wow. That was close. I thought we were in the wall. That was nice through there. And 1 and 2 is sketchy. That's a little better. Oh! Wow. 3 and 4 is just butter. That was nice. 1 and 2 is a little dodgy, but that line was pretty good that time. 3 and 4 is beautiful. Obviously a pretty good track condition right now and not overly challenging to drive compared to if it was really slick. Oh, that's beautiful, that. Alright. Wow! That just went to the bottom. Almost hit the inside wall. Okay. Sprint cars definitely could be running two lines, I think. Depending on the track condition, of course. But that's pretty good around the bottom. I love it. That's just so fun. I've talked about it already a couple of times. I'm not even talking. I've just realised I've been like 4 laps, haven't said anything. I talked about it before several times. Some cars, some track, like sometimes you end up doing laps and you don't even really think about it. It's just fun. Get immersed in it and just drive, you know. That's what this is. It's just fun. I don't know what it is about particularly the sprint car on iRacing in the dirt stuff, but just the sheer sense of speed that I get out of these cars. I mean, you don't really probably get that watching the video back here on YouTube, but me with my triple screen set up here and the wall flying past my right hand side here out of the peripheral vision, particularly the riding on the front stretch wall down here, and with the wall being so high as well, and you're right next to it. Oh, don't get right up there. The sense of speed that I get is just like... it's immersive. That's what it is. It's just immersion. I need to do more dirt racing, guys. I miss it. All right, I don't know how many laps I've done, but too many. Let's wheel it back into the pits. We'll have a look at the replay, and I'll wrap up this video. All right, so as we have a look at the car ripping around a few laps here from that run that we just did, we'll quickly have a chat about the track itself and my impressions, I guess, just briefly to wrap this one up. Firstly, I'm really happy that this track is in iRacing. I mean, even from just a preservation perspective for me, to have these tracks scanned and on the sim is just really cool. It's sort of a way of immortalizing them, I guess. And having them done properly, the way that they're scanned and everything like that, the representation being so accurate. I think that this was an obvious choice, Port Royal, as a track that really needed to be added to the service. I'd love to see lots of small little tracks and things like that get added, but when you talk about big tracks that I think need to be on the service, this one's up there for me as one that really needed to come. So it's cool to have it. I'm a little nervous about what the racing will be like in some cars around here. I talk about that all the way through the video, but I'm not 100% sold that all the cars are going to be able to race that well around here. I think you're going to see a fair bit of single file, one groove, top dominant type racing. But, I mean, I'm always happy to be proven wrong in those cases too. Maybe it won't be so bad. The track itself, I like it because it's unique. It's different to anything else that I think is really on iRacing right now. And that's one of the things that's cool about dirt track racing is every track's got its own characteristics, but this one doesn't feel like another of these type tracks, if that makes sense. It's unique. It drives differently to anything else, and it's just like it's fast. It's just fun. As always with iRacing stuff, they've done a good job with it. It looks great, and there's never any questions with that sort of stuff. So all in all, I mean, I really like it. I hope that the racing's good here. I hope that we get the chance to run here and do a few races and test out a few different cars. But guys, if you've enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button. Let me know what you think of the track as well. I'm keen to get your thoughts about it. And, you know, you guys, particularly those that know this track in real life, I'm always interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are about seeing it here in iRacing and comparing it with the real thing. But I think that pretty much covers it, guys. We'll let the replay run out here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Hobbo88. Twitch.tv/Hobbo88 to check out the live streams. Don't forget the Discord channel. We've got like, I don't know, 1,000 people or something over in Discord these days. A link for that is in the description below. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys the next one.